Hey everybody, I'm just going to make a quick little video here to talk a little bit about Google Sites and the wiki we're building. One thing to kind of preface the discussion. The basic idea of a wiki is that we are all contributors to the site, that each one of us can produce information and content that goes onto the site. So the idea here is to make the Com Pedagogy Wiki become a site where we're all sharing information that all of us can use. So in that sense, it differs from the discussion board, which is much more about relating to the content and sharing how that relationship works, my experience, my background knowledge, and things like that, to the wiki, which is an informational resource we're designing for each other and potentially that could be shared to anyone, much like any other kind of Wikipedia wiki. It doesn't look exactly the same, and we're not kind of going through and editing these same kind of materials. It's just basically what we're doing is we're all building a website, and because each one of us that's logged in has editing rights, then all of us can contribute to the content on that website. So my idea is that as you go through and you're reading the book and you come across ideas, theories, and concepts, theorists, you make connections to other kinds of theories, other kinds of ideas that you know about or have researched or read about before, then you can bring in some of that knowledge and those ideas to the wiki by providing, profiles on different theorists and researchers that are out there, providing little background pieces of information on different theories and concepts you're reading, providing examples and definitions of concepts that relate to at least in the beginning, communities of practice, but potentially other kinds of pedagogical theories. So that's the idea behind the wiki. Let's take a quick look at how to make a contribution. So first, I'm going to go over here, and this is the course wiki under assignments on D2L. So I'm going to go ahead and open that up in a new window. So hopefully that'll work. Alright, so there we are on the course wiki page, and it has initially the different pages that I've set up, kind of a couple of broad categories for us to share information with one another. Now you can create pages on those broader categories as well, but at least for now let's stick with those broad categories and look at what it takes to build a page or add a page to those different categories. So let's say I've come across a particular concept or idea. Maybe social learning theory or something along those lines. So I'm going to go to concept pages, and it looks like we have one here where I believe it was Kathleen built a sub-page on concept pages about reification of gang signs and how the meaning of a gang sign depends upon the community of practice who's interpreting that gang sign. Those sort of differences in smaller communities of practice and how that creates a larger community of practice where everybody kind of negotiates what that meaning of doing this is, right? So let's say I want to add in a concept to this page. So I can come over here, and I've got the option at the top here of the pencil, which is to edit the page, or the option of creating a page. I want to create a new page. So now I have the option. I can make a new page. Let's call this page Social Learning Theory. I'll make sure it's spelled correctly. Awesome. It can come in a lot of different formats. So I could create it as a file page, a list page, a set of announcements. Use announcements when you want to set up a page for a lot of other people to make contributions. But at least at this point, for an example, I'm just going to leave it as a web page. Now, I could put it at a top level, or I could put it someplace else. I'm going to put it under the concepts pages so that it's part of the set of pages that are linked to concepts and ideas. So I can do that, and then all I have to do is hit create. So now I have the social learning theory page, but it doesn't look like I can do anything besides put a concept on it. So that's where I come back up here to the pencil button, and I can edit this page. Now I can add and contribute my own content. I can come down here, and I have access to the whole range of editing tools in there. I can add in links, I can do all sorts of things, and just write in information about social learning theory, and I can contribute any files. Let's say I have an article on social learning theory I think is really helpful or useful. I can add that in there, or I could link to that in a database or something along those lines. So I can put in all the information there that I'd want to share with my peers and my classmates about social learning theory. So after I'm done with that, I would simply hit save. Now, as in a lot of Google products, it automatically saves drafts as you go through, but you'd hit save on this. Let's just kind of see what happens there. And now I've got my social learning theory page. If I go back and scroll back to the concepts page, then I've got 2 subpages now that have been added to the concepts pages. Now, if things need to be restructured later on as we add a lot of new pages and everybody's making contributions, that's something we can talk about a little later and sort of see what would make the most sense as we're adding different pages. But at this point, we're simply adding in pages as we go to see what kind of contributions there are. Other people will be able to select on social learning theory and see the content that I've put up there. Now, if you're logged in and you have access to the page and you say, hey, you know what, Aaron, you've got a couple of typos in there. That's not that uncommon for Aaron. So go up there, hit edit. You can go in, you can make some corrections, some changes. You can make some additions in there like, hey, there's a lot more resources on social learning theory and we're all editing this together, so I can make some of those contributions as well. Or I can add in a comment, or I can add in another page, or I can do a lot of other things. But that's the idea of a wiki, is that we can collaboratively build and produce a set of resources that we can all share in common. So hopefully that gives you a little bit of better explanation of what we're doing with the wiki. If you still have questions, of course, there's the course questions page, as well as the wiki questions page, and always email should be a good way to get a hold of me. So let me know if you're still having questions, and hopefully we'll start to see a little more content produced on the course wiki page. All right, I'll see you next time.